Okay, so
Dachau.
Dachau, yes.
When the war was over with, we stayed in England at this fighter base until they decided what they're going to do with us, because the war is still going on in the Pacific Theater. None of us wanted to go to the Pacific Theater. We wanted to go home, or we wanted to stay in Europe.
Right.
And so we were selected out of 15 fighter groups. We were selected one of 4. They selected 4, and we were one of them, to go as occupation forces. And what the occupation forces was, to let the Germans know they're here, their occupation, they can't do anything bad. It's also a warning to the Russians, don't mess with us, because the Cold War was starting then already. Don't mess with us. We got 4 fighter groups over here, and we got 4 bomb groups over here. The rest all went home. So we packed everything up, and that was quite an experience, to move from our air base in East Anglia, and we moved by truck mainly to Cherbourg, France, and we went through all the torn up cities and awful sights in France, through Luxembourg, into Germany. I just can't explain how badly Germany was leveled. And so we got down to Munich, Germany, and this is there's an air base down there, a permanent Luftwaffe German air base that wasn't too badly damaged, and that's where we went.
I see.
And we occupied this air base. So we didn't have a lot to do. These planes would go up every day. I don't know what for, but they did. And then we'd have other things to do, and so they decided every one of us on this air base should go see Dachau. And it was just shortly about, well, May 8th, war was over with, and this would be early July, late June, that they trucked us down to Dachau. They told us what it was. We went in it, we went through it. There was guides that took us through there. We saw trees out in front where they had ropes hanging, where they hung the Jews and hung the gypsies and the undesirable.
Yes.
Is what they did. They told us all about it. We knew partly about it, but not all. We showed where they had to sleep. It was just unimaginable. Full of lice and everything else. No mattresses. They sleep. The people that lived in there were just about dead, but some of them were revived. Then we went inside and saw all the things in there. Of course, we saw the chambers where they burned them, where they had them on a belt, the dead people on the belt, and they went into this furnace.
After they were gassed and all that.
After they were dead, yes. And they burned them, and they just kept these going and going and going. Got a couple pictures of that. Even though I couldn't take my camera, I got the pictures from someone else. And then we went into the gas chambers, and this was something I'll never forget because I can see it today, as plain as can be. It's a square room. It's painted white inside. It looks like a big shower where you could get 20, 30 people in to shower. That's kind of in the impression that it gave me. And there was lots of little shower heads sticking out from the side walls of the ceiling. Oh, by the way, there was still a lot of blood, human blood, still on the walls. They never had time to even wash it off.
Yeah, well, they left in a hurry from those camps,
oh,
didn't they?
The guards and everybody, they left in a hurry. They knew it was over for them, and they had to get out of there before they were captured. So anyway, I went through that and saw the blood on the wall and saw where all these people were gassed. And this went on day in and day night. So I guess that's about as much as I can tell you or remember at this point about Dachau. It's a terrible place. It was one of the first concentration camps in Germany. And there's a lot of important people met their death there.
Yeah.
A lot of Jews. I have nothing against Jews. They're people just like we are. But Hitler didn't like Jews. Said he's going to eradicate every one of them in Europe.
Yeah.
And he come kind of close to the tune of about 6 million is what he got rid of. So it's just terrible.
Well, then there were the gypsies, like you said earlier, and then there was the gays, and then there was the Greeks, and then there was the Polish, and the...
mentally retarded.
Yes, yeah.
All of those people.
Well, and even, I mean, I know of one priest, I used to belong to a group, and this priest he spoke out against the Nazis, and he was put there for 2 years.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Some they killed and some they didn't. I don't know why, but I have all kinds of books on these things. I'm reading them, but here it is now, 65 years or so later, and I'm still around. I'm just about 87, but I know what went on in World War II, and it won't be too long where there won't be any of us left to tell these stories.
That's right.
So that's my story.
That's your story. Okay.
Yep.